Hey, yo and hello, everybody. I'm Chris, and that's Mike, and I'm going to be doing the introduction right now because I have been slapped around in this Showcase Showdown for the last three times, and including Mike, or including tonight. And so Mike has been worthy of me introducing him to the show. He has won the last three, and tonight we're doing Rod Carew. Now, again, I hate to say this, but I am going to have to forfeit this Showcase Showdown to my friend and overachiever, Mike, baseball collector. Hi, Mike. How are you doing?
You know, those are my favorite words on Showcase Showdown. I have to forfeit that I hear by you. So, we have gotten some criticism that we're being too harsh with each other, that we're being too mean to each other. So I'm going to tone it down this episode. I'm going to, be a little bit nicer to you. So I'm sorry that you have to forfeit.
Oh yeah, this is going to throw me off the loop here if you keep being this nice like that. My mom's probably the one that's calling and saying, "Hey, you got to be nicer to Chris." But let me tell you something. If I win four in a row, there's not going to be a Mr. Nice Guy. So, but listen, we're still going to have a good show with this Rod Carew because we reached out and we got a challenger to you.
Okay.
And why don't you bring him on right now? It's George Diamond Yard Sport Cards right there. Hi, George.
Hey, guys. Hey, Chris. Hey, Mike. It's great to be on the show. Looking forward to some Rod Carew.
Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He converted.
Yeah, there's some really nice cards of Rod Carew, and there's some really nice stories. George, what makes Rod Carew special to you?
Well, I became a Carew fan because there was an older kid in the neighborhood when I was growing up in Arizona, and we didn't have any ball teams. And so he was from Minnesota, and we followed Rod Carew, and he had all the 70s cards, at that time, or at least it was like up to like 77. And then, I started trying to collect him in the late 70s. And then when he became an Angel, it was a big deal because in Arizona, you were pretty much a fan of the Angels or the Padres and the Dodgers. And so I became an Angels fan because of Rod Carew. And then he was over there. And then, of course, Gene Autry put together this team later on of just great players like Carew and Grich and DeCinces and Reggie. And, that team did pretty well. Never made the series, but they did pretty well.
Okay, well, we're doing this a little bit backwards here tonight. Mike, why don't you share the rules of this contest of Showcase Showdown to everybody? Because apparently, I've watched a couple of the shows that people are doing this Showcase Showdown on their own and kind of challenging us. But apparently, I'm not discussing or going over the rules quite as well as I should. So if you would, please tell everybody the rules.
Well, hopefully everybody understands that what we're going to do tonight is go through Rod Carew's career in cardboard, which ends in 1986. We're going to start with the newest card and work our way backwards all the way to rookie, which is for him 1967. And we're going to only do the Topps run tonight. That's what's going to count. I'm sure George and I know I do, and I'm sure George has some extra cards we'll throw in there just for giggles. But we're going to do just the Topps run of Rod Carew. And I've already won, but the way it's going to work point wise is 5 points if you have the card, an additional number of points based on the grade if it's graded by one of the three major companies, which we consider those to be SGC, PSA, or Beckett Vintage Grading, or BGS, whichever one you have for Beckett. And then the rookie will count double when we get there. And we'll add up all the points and see who has the most. And whoever does wins the Showcase Showdown.
Okay, and just like he said, I forfeited. I'm just going to show some cards, though, when I have them and just be here for comedy relief. You guys just, let me be involved every once in a while, right?
Yeah, well, truth be told, I thought, you guys teaming up on me, I thought it was like you guys were like the Road Warriors, and I was like poor little Bret Hart in the corner, and you'd be beating the crap out of me. So now that you're out, Chris, it's just me and Mike, but I'm expecting to see some great Carew cards from you as well. I'm sure you have a few there, more than a few.
Okay, we'll take turns. We're going to go from like Mike said, the newest card down to the oldest, and we'll just take turns introducing what year. But you and Mike take turns, and I'll just go in when I can.
Well, George, I don't do very well against when we have, a third party. Like Ray beat the crap out of me with Mike Schmidt last week. And then Nolan Ryan, I got trounced by Darren, but I've done okay. I did okay with Clemente.
Not just okay. He beat a guy whose name was Clemente Collector. So he didn't just do okay. So watch your back on this Carew stuff, George. Watch your back.
Well, I will, but I know that, John Mangini was also throwing out some Clemente stuff as well. So maybe you guys could get together and mix it up a little bit sometime in the future. But I'm going to do my best here. I think I've got a good chance.
Well, let's go into
John Mangini to a Patek run because I know he's a Patek collector, but I'll take him on anytime on that. So
let's go into showcase mode, showdown mode, and I'll start, I guess. His last card is 1986 Topps. I have that in a PSA 9.
And I don't have mine here, but I also have a 9. There's a picture of it. But mine's a new flip, so it's better. Do I get an extra point for that?
The number on the card still says 9. So
I know. I'm joking with you.
We will deduct points if all of your cards are on that telephone.
The first 2 are. Not any after that.
All right, George, you're up.
All right, so we're going to 85 Topps. And this is, again, I don't have this one here, but it's a 10.
That's pretty good. 10s are good.
Not bad. Nice.
I also have a 10 in the.
See, yours is a new flip though, so you win, right?
No.
Last time I'm going to say that. It's funny to me. 10's a 10.
A 10 is a 10. All right, I'll go next. First up, Rod Carew, 1984 Topps. That's such a childhood card. I have an 8. Oh, a 10.
I have a 10.
Just a 10. Here we go, Chris. Here it begins.
Yeah.
Well, we got Donruss too, which is of course the great set.
Well, I have that as well in a 9.
So
beautiful cards.
Oh yeah, what a set! I just can still smell the way those wax packs in '84 Donruss. I can still smell them.
I also have the 84 Drakes in a 9.
Love that stance.
Yeah, look at that. It's crouching down like he's about to take a poop or hit a double. I don't know which one. But
he was the most relaxed batter ever in a batter's box. Looked like the bat was going to fall out of his hands.
What are we on? 83 now?
83 Topps.
And I think I'm first on 80. No, you are, George. You're first.
83 Topps. Great set too. PSA 10.
Golly, at least it's okay. It's okay, Chris, because I also have a 10.
Okay.
Nice.
I was getting a little scared there.
That headband he's wearing.
The headband. I was
11.
literally about to say the headband. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's an 11. It was.
All right, golly, these are some.
It's pretty.
I'm down, Chris, but I'm hanging. Right? Okay.
You're within striking distance. All he has to do is slip up once.
Yeah, I just got a trip.
The old super veteran card from 83.
Nice. The super
Love
veteran.
those. Okay. 82. I think I'm first. See here, I'm all over the place. I got an 8 on this one.
10.
All right, you got to stop with the 10s. Seriously.
Yeah.
It might keep going for a little while, Mike.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You called me. I didn't call you. I'm just kidding.
I get another 9 points for the inaction card.
Yes. And that poses on what other card in the same year?
This one?
Yeah, that same picture. It's on.
I don't know.
It's on the 82 Fleer.
Is
Same
it?
picture. Yeah. They went They were like old school tops or something. But that super action Carew he's picking up the ball there, and it's the same as the 82 Fleer card.
Wow.
They also have an 82 All-Star.
Oh, I love that card. I really like that card. Those All-Star cards. That was the first year they were back with the All-Star cards. You got an extra Reggie Jackson or an extra Rod Carew and the extra Tom Seaver. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are fun.
All right, 81.
81. My turn or your turn?
Your turn. Go ahead.
My turn. PSA 10.
Wow. Wow.
I have a 9.
That's good. These cards are tough, man. They've, you could get a 10 back in the day for not all that much.
Well,
here's my favorite 81 card.
Oh, yeah.
Here, let's all show them. I think we probably all have them out.
Yeah.
So what's your grade, Chris?
Mine's a mint 7.
So George and I both have 10s in this card. And George, you tell your story about last show when you had that card and you were going to sell it potentially.
Oh, yeah. These 80s cards. I had a 82 Topps Ricky Henderson in my case. And this is in Ontario like 3 weeks ago, and at the Burbank show. And I also had this Rod Carew, George Brett. And I had this one in there for like $285, I think, and the Henderson for $1,050. And they're both PSA 10s, 82 Topps Henderson. Dealer comes up to me. I hadn't checked prices in like 3 months. I figured these 80s cards probably are going down like everything else. And this dealer comes up and says, on that Ricky Henderson, what's the best you can do? And I say, well, let me look at it, thinking, wow, I'd love to sell this card. And then I go look on VCP and I find the last 82 Topps Ricky Henderson sold for $1,850, $800 more than I was asking for approximately. And then the two other comps, which were recent, were like $1,450. And I told him, hey, and this Rod Carew was part of it, and Brett. This was $285 I had it at. And when I looked at the comps, one sold recently for like $450, $475, somewhere in that range. And so I realized and the dealer, I said I would sell him the card for the Henderson for $1,050 because that was my price. And he said, oh, I feel bad. I said, no, take the card. And so we went back and forth. And then he eventually, I said, if you leave though, I'm going to take the card out. I'm going to reprice it. And we talked a little bit, and he said he felt so bad. And I said, no, take the card. And eventually he's like, I'm going to go back to my booth. It's all good, man. And so, he never came back, but it was just an education on the fact that these little guys in 10s, you should check your prices on all of them, whether they were Hendersons, Brett's. There was an 83 Topps Brett that sold recently for $400 in a 10. So wow. Pretty amazing, increase when, you look at other guys that are all-time Hall of Famers and they're going down in price, maybe in like mid or lower grade. But, that's just one story about, these higher grade kind of 80s cards.
Well, I looked mine up, Chris, when George told me about that for this card, because I had bought mine for the 300 grade cards set, right? And
the only reason I have mine graded, yes.
And I bought it. I looked and I bought it 6 or 7 years ago, 4 sharp corners, and I paid $15 for it.
Wow.
So
pretty good deal.
Yeah, great stuff. We have I have some other 80s Carews for you. This is Fleer.
I love the mountains in the background on that card.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then he had 2 Donruss ones, but this is my favorite Donruss one with his batting stance. I just love that. Again, all loosey-goosey, like you said, Chris, just ready to just hit the ball in the gap,
Yeah, sweet.
Where are we at? 1980?
1980.
Do I get to keep this embarrassment going? All right. Love this card, though. I got an 8.5.
Nice. Yeah, this was his first mainstream Angels card.
Right.
I have a 10.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm just expecting that 10 to come out every time. Wait, I'm going to show some 4s in here in a second, Mike, just to break that up.
Well, I appreciate that. It won't make me feel so bad.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Mr. George.
the hostess cards too, like his first Angels card. I remember pulling not this specific card, but this card from a pack when I was whatever, like 7, 8 years old, and I was so happy to get it. But he had a hostess card that came out earlier, and then the O-Pee-Chee of 79 says he was traded to the Angels, and then there was another issue or two that had him on the Angels. So it was kind of like the race to get, when you race to get Reggie Jackson in a Yankees uniform or Carew in an Angels uniform. So let's see here. 79 in a 9. There you go.
I only have a 7.
This is a great card, man. I love this card. All these 70s cards are just killer.
George, you're lambasting me. Okay, 78. I love the All-Star Shield on these 78s. I've got a 7.
I have an 8.
8.
Oh, so we tied because Chris counts. Let's do that.
There you go.
All right, you're teaming up. I get it.
No.
I'm gonna tag back out here in a second, Mike.
This was the next one, 77 is his first base card.
Yes. Am I up?
Yeah.
Okay, 77 MVP Carew in a 9.
Beautiful.
MVP Carew in a 7. So
George, you kept your cards this nice?
Oh no, these are not my original ones that I had when I was a kid, but I do have the 71 and the rookie are my original ones that I got when I was a kid. There's a 73 as well. So these are the original ones from when I was a kid. They are not 8.5s. They're not 7.5s.
All right.
No, but I just figured, like with the rookie, for example, when we get to it, I mean, I never upgraded my rookie because the rookie I got on my 13th birthday, and I just figured you could buy a higher grade, but that one's more special to me. And I'm probably going to lose a point or two to Mike on that for sure. I know that.
All right.
Well, the cards I'm going to show, or now I get to play a little bit, are cards that I had as a kid. And some of these cards, some of the rookie cards I might want to upgrade, but if I had them, I would rather send them off to get graded than I would, or get slabbed than I would buy the card if I have them. I have them, because I'm not going to get rich on a 1976 Rod Carew card. Just not going to do it.
Yeah, like I have a 72 with a high number that I have from when I was a kid, and I get fleeced by some longtime dealer, and I spent like $25 on it back in like 1987, and I was so proud to have the card because it was a high number. But I mean, it's destroyed. I mean, as Vince says, like it looks like an elephant like farted on it. But
yeah.
So I've got one more 77 I just picked up real quick. This is a Venezuelan sticker from the Venezuelan League. It's a 1, and you can see the colors are a little different. No All-Star insignia at the bottom, but same pose, and they're blank backs. Typically, they have damage on the back because they've been glued to books like all the other Venezuelans.
Love it. How about his 76 tops? I have that in an 8.
There it is, little SGC. I have this also in an 8.
Okay. Well, I didn't lose ground. That's good.
So, Mike, why don't we take a minute and do the tallying up a little bit? And George, do you know where Rod Carew who he was named after? Do you know that story?
Yes, the doctor on the plane on the train in the Canal Zone, Rodney Klein, was a doctor who gave who delivered him, right?
Right.
And then he had a real tenuous relationship with his own father, I believe, very tenuous, like not good.
Not at all.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, and his father, I guess, was not a real responsible guy, and that's his mother named him after the doctor who delivered him. And I think he grew up in New York City, like playing ball in the streets and stuff, from what I can remember. You said you took a class on him, Chris, right?
Well, because I had a teacher in college that was a Panamanian, and that's where Rod Carew was born and stuff. But some of the stuff like with Rod Carew, that I didn't know about. You guys, I'm a little bit older than both of you guys, but when I was molding my mind a little bit as an older kid baseball collector, they had collusion. The owners had collusion, and Rod Carew and Dave Kingman never retired, and Dave Kingman has the record. He had 38 home runs his last season, and didn't want to retire, but nobody picked him up. And in that collusion settlement, Kingman and Carew were two of the biggest winners in that. Matter of fact, Kingman won more money, was awarded more money off the settlement than he ever made in a year of playing baseball. And if you look, there was like 50 baseball players. Some of my favorite baseball players either had to go play in Japan or had to retire because the owners wouldn't pick up the big contracts. And Rod Carew, he was out there in front of that. I mean, he wasn't afraid to voice his opinion, and he got some people. He got marked as a bad person in the locker room for a while until all that came out. That's what I remember most. Do you guys remember the whole collusion thing? You guys old enough to remember that?
Yeah, I remember there was a Sporting News article in Carew. You know, I couldn't believe that he was retiring because he could still hit around 300. And he had just broken 3,000 hits. I think he had 3,053 career hits. And I was like, okay, well, the Angels are going with this young guy named Wally Joyner, but, you know, where's Carew? Why wasn't somebody going to sign him? And then there was an article in the Sporting News about him going to the Giants, and he was going to go play first base for the Giants. And then that kind of just went away. And you're like, well, what's going on? And then, yeah, a year or two later, this collusion thing came out, and then the lawsuit and all that. And it's really weird about Dave Kingman, like you said. You know, you look at the way the game has changed, and people, guys don't play like Rod Carew anymore. Maybe Arias does, you know, but, you know, Dave Kingman is like ahead of his time, apparently, because Kyle Schwarber is leading off for the Phillies, and he's batting, and Kingman bat like 30 points higher than Schwarber does with just as much power and 50 fewer strikeouts. So I don't know the way the game's going, but I do remember that. And I kind of wondered about that because I know Kingman himself, I remember his 81 Topps card, an all-star for the Cubs. Like, he and Bruce Sutter were all-stars in that set. And yeah, I didn't even think about Kingman, but yeah, he just kind of faded off and didn't get signed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Mike, do you have the totals?
I do. As of right now, George is representing well. He's at 158. I am at 146.5. So I've got some ground to make up here.
Okay. Well, you got that PSA 10 rookie card in autographed and all that kind of stuff.
We'll see. Let's get to it. I'll start us off on the next group here. 1975, another all-star card for Rod Carew. I have that in a PSA 7.
I have an 8.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Hey, this may be the only Carew card where he's got a stash. He's got a mustache in this card.
That's true.
Which you don't see much. I mean, do you have the mini, Mike? I got a mini.
I don't have the mini.
Yeah, I was having a discussion with the minis the other day. You know, when we were growing up, these minis were so desired, and they're rarer, clearly, but I don't think they're in the set registry. And I think because of that, you know, they're getting, you know, they get less love than the regular cards. Because, I mean, the George Brett mini, for example, is far more rare than the regular Brett card, but I don't think it's in the base registry.
It's not. You're right.
Which doesn't, you know, again, we talked about this before the podcast, but, you know, some cards that aren't in the registry, you think, well, gosh, they should be, you know, because there's key cards. It's not just tops, or it's not just base tops. Anyway, so 74, right. Mike, am I up with 74?
Yeah, you go first this time.
Oh, okay. 74.
Humiliate me.
And a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make you feel good, though, Mike.
Okay.
I got a 3.
I'm 2.5 times better than Chris because I got a 7.5. So.
That 7.5 is a good grade.
Yeah, that's a nice card.
It's not a 9, though. Jeez.
I also got the All-Star. This is one of the best All-Star cards, I think. It's got Joe Morgan and, yeah, there it is, Joe Morgan and Rod Carew on it. And, you know, I mean, when you think of the top second baseman of all time. I mean, these are two of the top, probably top 6, 7.
Yeah.
So,
all right. 73, my birth year. I have a PSA 7.
I'm sending this off when we get off the show.
Nice. This is a 7 also. This is a childhood card I had. I just kept it as nice as I could.
Okay.
But it probably started off higher grade, but I just kept taking it out and messing with it.
Chris, it's sad when your childhood cards are 3s and 4s and George's are 7s. So
exactly.
Well, he's like, I'm gonna have some childhood cards that I didn't take care of very well, and they're still, near mint. And you're like, what?
Right. He tried to lower expectations, and that just cracks me.
Yeah. Don't poke the bear. I'm just kidding.
That's it. That's more like it.
You got to come to the screen and get me.
That's right. All right.
Mike, here's one that you recommended. I texted you a couple of years ago about this one. I said, should I get this one? And It was a 73 autographed, and it was ridiculously cheap. And it's the old autograph. His autograph looks different now after his heart surgery. And but anyway, thanks for the advice on that, Mike.
You're welcome. Next card. This is a toughie, high number, 72, and I do love the card though. It's got a great look to it. I have a PSA 6.
Nice. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. There you go, Chris. You're in there. This is an 8.5.
Only an 8.5.
Wow. Do you have the in-action card? I do, but do any of you guys got the show?
Hold on.
At least I'm making him work. Mike.
That's another high number, obviously. So mine's way off center, but I have a 4. George got it though.
Were you guys talking trash?
No,
not at all. Not at all.
No, this is a childhood card too. It's a 6.
Oh, only. I used to like George a lot before this.
Hey, we're all having fun here. Come on. We're all having fun. I do like, I'm going to point this out, and Don points this out. See the guy in the background playing golf with a baseball bat right under Carew's elbow?
Yeah.
I didn't think I never even noticed that until Don pointed it out to me at the National.
Right.
I had loved this card for years, and he's like, "Oh, that's the golf card," and I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And
all right, 71, George, you're up.
Childhood card, 6.
Give me an 8.
No,
6.
it's a 6.
I have a 6.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
And I have a 6, so we got 666. That's not good.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
yikes.
71 Rod Carew, sign of the beast.
Right.
All right, let's go. Let's just
1970. I have a 7.
Nice.
I have a 7.
I have an 8.
Ah.
Jeez, he's throwing a no-hitter against me. Now, I do have the 70 O-Pee-Chee, which I really like.
Nice. I have a 70 uncut Kellogg's panel.
Nice.
That a friend of mine gave me. Clemente365 on Instagram gave me this in Long Beach. I just thought it was really cool. But anyway, there's
his 70 All-Star.
Yeah, those are high numbers, right?
Yep. Semi-high, I guess.
Semi-high.
Yeah. All right, George, we're in the 60s now.
Okay, so this is 69 Carew, same pose as 68 Carew, and this is a PSA 8.
I'm sending this one off when we get out of here.
Where are you sending it to?
SGC. So I sent them to SGC now, so hopefully I can get them back before Showcase Showdown with Mike. But of course, I wasn't smart enough to get these out. So,
Mike, what was yours?
I have a 6.
A 6. These backs are so colorful. The salmon back It's just, and when they're really nice and bright, it really just adds to the card. I know we're not showing the backs off, but sometimes, sometimes backs of cards are really neat, and sometimes they're very benign.
All-star card for 69 as well.
Yep.
And then I'll go with 68. Like you said, this is the rookie cup, though. Next to last card for Carew. I have a PSA 5.
I have a 2. Nice 2.
This is an SGC 6.5.
All right.
Couldn't leave it. Couldn't leave SGC out.
Yeah, you got to have a few. Oh, my gosh. I don't think I can win, but there's a 68 All-Star as well. I have that in an 8. But all right, the rookie.
Where are we at right now? You want to tally it up and see where we're at before the rookie?
I have it tallied up. I just don't want to tell you.
Oh, okay. Do you need to get a PSA 15 on this card to beat me?
I literally can't beat you, I don't think. I have 238. You have 259s. You're up 21 points right now. So I have to hope you don't have the card at all.
Yeah. Am I going?
You can go first. You can go first.
This is my childhood Carew. Got it on my 13th birthday. It's a PSA 4.
Okay.
I have a 4 that I picked up mowing yards.
Nice. Working hard.
There you go.
So I do win the last card on a couple of fronts. So I have another version of this, but this one is signed, and it's a PSA 5 with a 10 auto. So I have a 4 non-autographed.
Nice.
So
I think we got to take the 5 because it's the higher grade.
I'll take the 5 and an extra 100 points for it being autographed in a 10. So we'll just do that. Do you have a signed rookie, George?
No, I do not. I have some other signatures of his, including a ball. There's an 8x10 I got myself in the back there, but and I mean, I'm glad I prefer his older signature. I'm glad he's still signing, and I'm glad that he's living a long, healthy life. I prefer the older signature, which is kind of harder to find. Is your rookie is an older signature, right?
It is.
Yeah, and I mean that's a great card, and you got Hank Allen on it, right?
It does.
Richie Allen's brother.
Dick Allen's brother, yeah. Well, George, you whooped me pretty bad there. You ended up with 277 points. That's insane. I had 258. So congratulations on coming on and making Chris and I look silly. Appreciate it. Thanks for doing that.
Well, now I know how Ray from Philly felt. The cockles of my heart are just warming. It's just a wonderful feeling.
All right,
cockles.
Ray is still texting me doing victory laps. So,
well, I truth be told, I've been like collecting a lot of like late 60s and 70s cards as much as I can, kind of in higher grades. I know Vince does this too. He buys like, different guys, 73, 74, 75s, and just, not that the grade matters, but just try to. I have the raw cards. I have raw versions of these cards that are in my collection as well. But Mike, you just picked a guy. I mean, you and I both love Carew, and so we've both been collecting him since the early 80s, probably late 70s. Probably same with you, Chris.
Yes, I just wish I would have gotten mine slabbed sooner. But it's what this Showcase Showdown does for somebody like me. It makes me find the cards, get them out, get them slabbed. Makes it fun.
Great motivator. The great motivator. Well, you know what time it is now, Chris. Your favorite time.
Okay, we gotta, George. You got to bring me a little bit of luck on this, because this wheel has been tilted against me for the last 4 times, and there's only one player that I'm really worried about it hitting, and I need to get that out of my head so it won't hit this player.
Well, I think that you're hoping that it lands on George Brett to get you out of your slump. Is that fair to say that?
Well, yeah, Mike's got those cards too, probably in better grade. I'm wanting somebody like Ted Williams or some of the Stan Musial. That's who I'm wanting.
Yeah, some pre-war.
There you go.
Or just post-war.
I'm hoping for Mays or Mantle those would just be fun to do. So
it would be.
All right. Y'all ready? Here we go. Let's see who we're doing next week. Again, George, thanks for being on the show today. It looks like it's going to be
Big Frank
Robinson.
Chris, you look like you're stressing.
No. Matter of fact, I'm going to win this one, George. I get to talk trash to Mike, and
you just called it out. I mean, that's a bold statement.
I could try to lose this and still win. So, but at least I can talk trash for a little while, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it gets time to do it, this video won't be up playing as I'm saying, oh gosh, forgive me, I overthought my collection. But no, Frank Robinson, that's going to be a fun one to do. Everybody says he's underrated, but he has some pretty neat cards, and going to be a good time.
It will be indeed. Thanks everybody so much for watching this episode of Showcase Showdown. Thank you, George, for being on. Chris, the lovable loser that you are, appreciate it.
Yeah.
You and the Cubs. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Keep collecting.